It evolved a lot, where we used to, initially spent a lot of time on your typical low complexity buildings, commercial, industrial, but low complexity. Some to the end user, some to the farm. A big mix. Over time, we really were just trying to figure out where do we add value, where can we add value, and so that really became client selection, and really we tailored who we are as a company based on the clients that we fit best with. And again, it's the ones that we add the most value for. And so over time, you started to see some development happen in the company where the makeup of the company looked different, where we started adding more design services, engineering services, everything that was centered around the type of work that we were doing for our customers. That expanded what we do in the US and in Canada. We went overseas with that model, and really overseas changed a lot of what we did back here in the US. Because in overseas, we may have started out there as a warehouse, let's say, but then we became kind of the default steel guys in the market, especially if there weren't any incumbent fabricators there. So over time, you start to see this evolution where we were doing warehouses, we're doing office buildings, we're doing multi-office story office buildings, we're doing multi-tenant residential, we're doing stadiums. Everything really evolved in the international markets for us. Albeit the while, we're still doing a tremendous volume of business in the US. We're still headquartered in the US, although we've got people across the country, not just in our one location here. And we also started putting people in place overseas in some of our larger markets. But it really evolved the company. So today, you look at the company as a low complexity business, and that could also be overseas, but it's generally in North America. Your mid complexity business, that we still would work through fabrication partner relationships that may manage a lot of that business for us. So we'd be buying that through our fabrication partners. And then the high complexity business is all managed here. And that is design, that is engineering, that is detailing, that is shop drawings, and that is going to what you would consider an OEM relationship out to the fabricators. And typically we're primarily still using the majority of the fabricators in the US for that business, whether it's in the US or whether it's export. But we will also use some overseas fabricators that are closest to the market, or like I mentioned, a baseball stadium may specialize in that type of steel fabrication. So that's kind of the makeup of the company today. We have generally been the same size company for the last 10 years. Everything has been focused on figuring out the business that we are in and where we are going to grow. And now we're starting to steadily grow in those categories. So there was no real race or rush for us. It was almost an identity crisis, and then figuring out what that needs to be, figuring out the right customer that we can serve best, and then building the right team around it, which I'd say today we've got an amazing team that all is centered around client success. So that is everything that we focus on. And then likewise, any partner relationships that we have, and the folks that are, people call them vendors, they are our partners. That's what our focus is, and that's to make sure that they understand our dedication to our customers and make sure it fits for them too, right? Because we are all in it together to deliver that service to the client and make sure it's successful. So that's a general overview, I would say, on who we are.